Good day, YouTubers. We've got quite a bit to cover today, so let's get right into it. So, the Daily Mail is saying Charles for sale. Prince's Charity orders probe as it's revealed the fixers offered wealthy donors dinner with him and a stay at the Dumfries house for £100,000. Okay, so it's cash for access. Now we know that Fergie did this with Andrew. I think £500,000 to meet with Andrew. This is called influence peddling, and it's very powerful. This is how the mafia works. This is how policing largely works. This is how all corruption works, is influence peddling. And I want to show you the agreement. This email was sent by the fixer, Michael Wynn Parker, on November 15th, 2019, and sets out that his 5% fee will go to him. So he has people working behind the scenes, of course. He's not necessarily doing it directly himself. So November 15th at 15:57, what is that, 3:57, so 4 o'clock. Dear blank, it was a great pleasure to meet you yesterday and to cover such useful ground. Exclamation point. Don't use too many exclamation points or you'll look childish. I feel we will have great success in our joint collaboration. I will email you separately, RE. Regarding the opportunity for selected clients to be invited by HRH for dinner and night at Dumfries house, I've outlined the practical steps. So they give £100,000 and then they get dinner and then a personal meeting. They get to stay the night at Dumfries house and a personal meeting with Charles and photographer. Client remits agreed amount either via you or direct to Burke's Peerage account, $100,000 for two people. Client sends copy of first page of passport, royal security check passport. So they have to check them through security. WB remits 20% to you, 5% to me, and balance to DH. I'm not sure who DH is. Oh, yeah, 5% to the fixer and 20% to DH, the other guy, the wholesaler. Date of dinner mutually agreed. WB or I can meet client with you to fully brief them on protocol, to put them fully, so protocol meeting. We prepare brief biological info on each client for His Royal Highness. On agreed date, client flies to local airport, Glasgow, and is met by royal car and driven to DH. So the royal limousine picks them up and takes them to Dumfries house, DH's Dumfries house. Depending on time of arrival, clients can have a tour of the house and gardens or just relax in their rooms. Clients in black tie assemble around 7 p.m. in the reception area for drinks. 7:30 p.m., HRH appears and greets each guest individually with conversation and photographer. How specific is this? About 8 p.m. is dinner. Dinner guests enjoy further drinks, conversation, and often entertainment. So very personal. Next day, guests free to explore the estate and various activities. Horticulture, agriculture, arts, crafts, and HRH usually visits one of these centers of activities. So more personal time with Charles. Guests depart during the day at their convenience by royal car to the airport. Depending on the amount of synergy, how much they want to do together between each client and HRH clients are placed on appropriate guest lists depending on their cultural interests. Please revert with any questions. So this is influence peddling. A very famous current example of this is Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is making millions and millions and millions of dollars working in the oil industry in Ukraine. What does Hunter Biden know about the oil industry in Ukraine? Absolutely nothing. That's influence peddling, and it's absolutely illegal. The mafia works this way. I do something for you, you do something for me, and I will call in. The mafia is like, I'm going to call in this favor, and when I call it in, you better do it, or they'll kill you. Cops do this. My father was a police officer. Another police officer had a fatal shooting of a motorcyclist. I saw the whole thing. There was a motorcycle accident with a neighbor of mine. I was right there in my mother's car. I was young, 14, 15, and my mother was turning left, and the motorcyclist hit the car made the old woman was wrong and the motorcyclist was right. This is a kid from my high school. My father was not there. He rushed over from his work and then swore out statements that he was physically present. He saw the entire thing and he saved his friend. The other cop. This cop said to me at my father's funeral, "I would do anything for your father. I would kill for that man." And he literally would. Okay, that's influence peddling. Charles doesn't need the money for his charity. He is doing favors for this person and they're developing a relationship, and that's very powerful. That's how it's really done behind the scenes. Also, Prince Andrew is the United States has now filed a mutual legal assistance treaty filing that Andrew has to come in for questioning about, for testimony about his close friend J.E. We all know about that stuff, and I don't believe he killed himself. And the cameras were turned off, and both of those, all the security, all the prison guards were fired, had to resign, or were fired. A mutual legal assistance treaty is like a subpoena. Okay, you will be subpoenaed to appear before a court or hand over data. We had this in my agency. I was a federal auditor. And so under a subpoena, if you don't give over or do what the court is commanding you to do on a specific day, on a date certain, when that expires, because they'll write the date on it, November 2nd, 2021. If it's not done by that date, the court will issue a bench warrant for your arrest immediately. And I think that's what they're doing to Andrew. They're putting the screws to him. I want to see if he's actually going to speak to the FBI now, or if he can still get away with it. Prince Harry will address speculation in his book. Who is his real father? Is it James Hewitt? We know that Charles was having an affair with Camilla. He was quite open about it. He should have hid it from Diana. And it seems to me that Diana wanted to even the score. And I do believe that Harry is the son of James Hewitt. I did a reading on it. But Harry cannot admit this. And if he's going to, I want to see if he's going to put this in his book, if he's going to address this, because he should. And people are saying that he needs to address this speculation of who is his real father. But if he admits that James Hewitt is his real father, they'll just kick him out of the royal family. This is the excuse the royal family is looking for to kick him out of the royal family. So he has to say that he is Charles' son.
Good day, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. Time for a spot of royalty. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Many thanks to the generous folks who bought me a cup of tea. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment. So, the first question I want to ask is, was Charles influence peddling? Selling influence, because they all do it. Powerful people with influence, it's inevitable. Okay, it's unavoidable. But to make a point to go out there and to huckster to strangers, for money, well, that's a very different matter. So influence peddling is all kind of part of it, but there are lines of the political game. And policing, that I think that's what cops do. They influence peddle. I've seen it my whole life. This for that. I do this favor for you, you do that favor for me. But there are lines you should not cross. And you should never accept money for it. And they're very strict about the accepting money parts. Okay, as far as I'm familiar. So was he intentionally and influence peddling? Because it sure looks like it. Angel. Disaster on the mind. And this trick where he opens an investigation in the palace into these activities that he did. It's hilarious because I've seen where cops investigate their own crimes. What do they find? They don't find anything. Certainly nothing that would incriminate themselves, and they destroy any evidence that might. So Charles opening an investigation in the palace, no matter how about his own activities, no matter how independent these people supposedly are, they get their money from the palace. It's a joke. Okay, that's not a real investigation. It has to be separate from the palace to do the investigation, or it's just nonsense. I know this from personal experience. I've seen it over and over. And I worked in government, which is politics. And nothing is dirtier than politics. So, what do we have here? Angel. Oh, he's innocent. He's telling us he's innocent. And he's reacting to it. Oh, just what I just said. So he's going to open an investigation. 6 and 11, 17, 5 hearts. He's reacting to it. And they've initiated a process, like Harry's caught doing like the naked billiards, so they send him to rehab for a couple of days. Oh, he's got a problem, and so he goes to rehab for a couple of days, and he's cured. He's never going to have a problem again. It's that kind of thing. It's the show. You have to show that you're doing something about it. So that's what they're doing. This is potentially a big disaster. Because of all of the trouble that Harry and Meghan are creating, constantly calling out the royals. And that's the problem with Harry and Meghan, is they can slowly turn people against the palace. And if they are successful doing it, which I don't think they are successful, I think it's working against them. They are losing Instagram followers, and the Queen and Kate and William are gaining Instagram followers. So I don't think it's worth working. But if there's a constant negative narrative about the palace, and Charles is the next king, and then William, it just eats away at the foundation, and that's what he's worried about. Because why would you pander for money, Charles? That's money that goes to the charity that they give away. Oh, you don't need. Enough people are going to give. It's pure influence peddling. It's not even about getting the money. And I helped get charities. I helped charities get money through my church. I did quite a bit of that. Four-leaf clover and incubus succubus. This is what's happening right now, and it's very sour, and making people have a bad relationship with the palace and manifesting snake and karmic relationship. It's developing a bad. Look at how this reads. Four-leaf clover and karmic relationship, and then inside, it's kind of eating away at the inside. Positive, 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 and 2 negatives inside. That's interesting. So the situation itself, and I also often see it where the 2 outside cards are negative, and then the inside is positive. So what this is saying is, it's a very kind of, there is dirt in the situation because it's inside, okay? And it's a sticky wicket, and they've got to tell some clever lies maybe to get out of it. But they're manifesting, and then outside they're showing you that they're angels, okay? So that is influence peddling. It is dirty, but I think they're going to get away with it as the powerful tend to do. And I've seen over and over in my life. Life is very unfair. Get used to it. I'm not. Andrew and the FBI. Okay, we have Andrew. They have filed under the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty to compel his testimony. They're pretty serious. So they believe that Andrew really knows some important stuff that they need to know, and they're just not going to pass him up. This is not This is not a show. They're not doing this to embarrass Andrew. They believe he really has specific information that they really need, and they want to talk to him and get it out of him. With the hot light and the good cop, bad cop, pounding the table, tell us. So And then they're going to offer him coffee, and stuff like that. So is Andrew finally going to speak to the FBI in the U.S.? Is he finally going to do it, or can he hide Andrew and the FBI? Can he get away with? Is he finally going to speak to the FBI? These cards today are sticking together like new money. You ever, all the money in my wallet, even the ones and the fives and the 20s are all new. So everything like sticks together, and I'm like, wrinkling it and making sure I'm not giving an extra 20. I just lost a 20. That's what the cards are like today. They want to stick together. So Andrew, is he finally going to do it? Well, we have a 2. And that's a good 2 for this. 12 plus 8, 5 spades. He's still going to fight it. He's still going to fight it, but I think he's going to have to do it. I think he's going to have to do it. The FBI, Fox is a great business card. We're not trying to hurt you. We're not going to arrest you, Andrew. And they're very powerful. Inheritance, this is often the royal family card. Inheritance, but this is very solid. There's a lot of money here and a lot of history, and very solid. We're not going to hurt you, but we can compel you. This is not a game. This is not a joke. We can make you do it. Interestingly, this adds 24, 12, 10, 22, 24, 6 spades. So he really doesn't want to talk to them. And he has foot and mouth syndrome. We saw, he was in the clear, and then he went and did that interview, and oh boy, it's a good thing when Andrew keeps his mouth shut. So up here, hamster wheel across the seas, butterfly flying across the seas. So here, underlying, well, this could be restating 3 diamonds, doing everything they can to get Andrew to fly over to the U.S. and be interviewed. I'm going to say we have two hearts here. We have 2 clubs here. Both sides are showing a union. I'm going to say that Andrew will speak to the FBI in the United States and testify formally on this. Of course, that's called a deposition, and all of it'll be recorded on video. Anything he says, and they'll analyze his body language and all that stuff. Are Meghan and Harry going to blast Andrew in their books? I think she'll get Harry to do it. She likes to get Harry to do the dirty work and then blame him. So Harry is the one who made the Archie skin color allegations. Harry did that. Oh my gosh. That's all Meghan. That's Meghan all day and all night. Okay, but Harry is the one moving his mouth and saying, oh yeah, I heard that. Idiot. Okay, so are Meghan and Harry going to blast Andrew in their books? Because Fergie was going to bat for Meghan and Harry. That's going to change. So are they going to blast Andrew in the books? They're going to have to say something. We got here working everything together and talking about exposing and working everything together and talking and doing. 6, 7, 2 clubs. We have a union card, handcuffs, 2 clubs. Yeah, definitely going to talk about Andrew, Scourge, and Harry talking. So she's going to get Harry to do it. Harry talking about his family members, 7 and 13, and the problems. He's going to do it. Yeah, he's going to do it. Meghan's going to get Harry to do it. So that's how it's going to be. So yeah, they're definitely going to talk about Andrew, and they have to come up with some dirt. Will Harry address the speculation of who is his real father? And he has to say, in the book? Is Harry going to address the speculation of who is his real father? Hightower. It's official. Who's the daddy? What is that bottom part? The key is the broken relationship and a big change. What is that? So, 11, 3 clubs, and a karmic shift. Big change. This is good. What he says about that is going to create huge problems. Huge problems between him and Charles. Idiot. Just stop it. Ruler, Star of Bethlehem, and Hightower. Officially, he's going to talk about his dad. Yeah. And stars and birth. Star of Bethlehem can be sperm, 29, 8 hearts, and conception. Sperm and conception. Sperm and, birth and conception. So yeah, he definitely is going to talk about it, and it's going to create big problems between him and Charles. Okay, Harry, you're just creating huge problems. I've done this. I did this one time. I was trapped in a conversation. They denied me all my rights to attorney, everything, and they kept threatening me. I'm a fighter. You mess with me, I'll fight you. I'll fight. I've beaten up 10 guys at one time, for real. 10 karate guys I beat up all at one time, and I was a little boy. And before that, I beat up 3 karate guys, and then the third guy attacked me with a knife. I beat his ass too and took his knife. So I'm a fighter. You trap me in a room and you want to fight me, I'll fight you. I don't even care if there's 10 guys, because I've done it. So anyway, don't get trapped into saying a whole bunch of stuff you're going to regret later. Just keep your mouth shut. And that's what Harry's doing. He doesn't shut his mouth. He needs to shut his mouth. Anyway, let's review. What do we have here? Was Charles influence peddling? Definitely. There's some dirt here, and they're really worried, but they're going to come out smelling like a rose. Angel and King of Diamonds. So influencing peddling is how politics works to some degree, and how policing works, and how powerful people get through the day. That is how stuff works. Okay, and that's why Meghan is so upset about not being invited to Obama's birthday party, because both the Obamas have so much power and influence. That's influence peddling. Will Andrew give testimony to the FBI? We have 2s on both sides, and he's going to overseas. Yes, but he's still going to keep fighting it. He's going to fight the extradition. It's like an extradition, because he's in England and he's protected and got to come back to the U.S. Are Meghan and Harry going to blast out Andrew in the books? Absolutely. They're going to talk about everything. And he's also going to talk about Charles and his birth, and it's going to create more problems for him. For Harry. It's going to create more problems for Harry. So, not good, bro. Learn to shut your mouth. That's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, The Magi Method, and we'll talk later.